Join me as I dive into the scariest horror story ever told and see if you can make it through without getting too freaked out. What if your worst nightmares could come to life? Fear, it's one of the most primal emotions, woven deep into the fabric of our existence. It grips us, quickens our heartbeat, and sends shivers down our spine. But why do we seek it out? Why do we gather around the glow of a screen in the safety of our homes to hear tales of terror that haunt us long after the story ends? Because fear makes us feel alive. Welcome to a journey into the unknown, where the line between reality and nightmare blurs, and your darkest fears come to life. Brace yourself. The first story begins now. The Whispering Woods had always been shrouded in mystery. Locals claimed that once you entered, the forest called to you soft, eerie whispers that beckoned you deeper, never to return. It was just a story to most, but for Sarah, Jake, and Mia, it was a challenge they couldn't resist. Under the dim glow of a full moon, they stepped into the forest. At first, everything seemed normal. The crunch of leaves beneath their boots and the distant hoot of an owl were the only sounds. But then the whispers began. Faint at first, like the wind brushing against the trees, but unmistakably calling their names.
Sarah. Sarah. Sarah.
She stopped, her breath hitching.
Did you hear that?
Jake laughed nervously.
It's just the wind. Don't freak out.
But the whispers grew louder, more insistent, revealing secrets only they could know. Mia froze as a voice whispered her greatest regret, a tragedy she never shared with anyone. Jake's flashlight flickered, casting shadows that seemed to move on their own.
We should leave.
Sarah whispered, panic setting in. But it was too late. The whispers turned into screams, and shapes emerged from the darkness gaunt, hollow-eyed figures with twisted smiles. They surrounded the group, cutting off every escape route. Mia turned to run, but the forest swallowed her whole, her screams fading into the cacophony of voices. Jake and Sarah were left, paralyzed with fear, as the figures closed in. The last thing they saw was a pair of glowing eyes and the whisper of their names. Calling them home, only Sarah stumbled out of the forest hours later, trembling and pale. The whispers had stopped, but she knew they would never leave her. She could still feel the forest watching, waiting. The Forgotten Tenant. Emily had always dreamed of living alone, so when she found an affordable apartment in the heart of the city, she jumped at the chance. It was a bit old and needed some work, but it was hers. The landlord's only comment was odd.
It's been empty for years.
The first few nights were peaceful, but soon Emily began noticing strange things. Her keys weren't where she left them. The creaking floorboards sounded like footsteps when no one was there. At night, faint sobbing echoed through the walls, though she was the only tenant on her floor. She brushed it off as the building settled in until she found the photograph. It was tucked behind a loose floorboard, yellowed with age. Her heart stopped when she saw it. It was a picture of her as a child, standing in the very apartment she now lived in. But that was impossible. She had never been here before. Shaken, she showed the photo to her landlord. She paled, muttering something about the forgotten tenant and refusing to say more. That night, the sobbing grew louder, joined by faint whispers calling her name. Emily searched the apartment for answers, tearing through closets and cupboards. In a hidden corner of the bedroom, she found a diary. The entries grew increasingly erratic, detailing the previous tenant's obsession with her. They had followed her for years, collecting mementos and conducting rituals to be with her forever. The final entry read,
If I can't have her, I'll become her.
Emily's reflection in the window smiled, but she wasn't smiling. Her own face twisted, warped into something unrecognizable. The last thing she heard was her reflection whispering,
You're mine now.
The midnight delivery. Evan was a delivery driver always looking for extra cash. So when he got an offer with one rule deliver exactly at midnight, no questions asked, he accepted. The pay was too good to resist. The job seemed easy until one night when his GPS led him down an isolated road. The address didn't exist on any map, but the app insisted he was in the right place. A decrepit house loomed ahead, its windows dark except for a faint glow from within. Evan knocked on the door. It creaked open, revealing a pale child clutching a stuffed rabbit. They didn't speak, only pointed to the package in Evan's hands. When he offered it, the child whispered, It's not for me. It's for the thing upstairs. Unease prickled his skin.
I should go.
The child's gaze hardened. You can't. It's waiting. Against his better judgment, Evan stepped inside. The air was thick with the smell of decay, and the stairs groaned under his weight. From above, low growls and distorted murmurs echoed. He entered the room at the top of the stairs, clutching the package. In the darkness, something moved. A figure, hunched and grotesque, emerged. Its skin was stretched too tight, its smile impossibly wide. Evan handed over the package, trembling. The creature opened it to reveal a mirror. The reflection wasn't of the room. It was Evan, standing on a desolate road, his own face pale and lifeless. The creature spoke in a voice that sounded like his own.
Your turn.
The next night, Evan's delivery app pinged with a new job. The rules hadn't changed. Deliver exactly at midnight. No questions asked. We hope these tales sent shivers down your spine. Now it's your turn. Have you ever experienced something truly terrifying? Or do you know a story that keeps you awake at night? Share your scariest tales in the comments. We'd love to hear them. Don't forget to subscribe for more spine-chilling content. Hit the like button if you enjoyed these stories, and stay tuned for the next collection of nightmares. Until then, sweet dreams. If you can sleep,